His father had removed him from the will. A poor nurse was tricked into going into the forest and then thrown into a pit. Jessica and Diego laughed loudly. Their evil plan had worked. The nurse, Cisne, begged them to take her out, but instead of helping, they covered the pit with wooden planks and leaves, leaving her to die. This had all started 3 days earlier. Cisne was taking care of Don Pablo, but the news was not good. His illness had reached the final stage, and nothing could be done. When Don Pablo felt his end was near, he asked Cisne to go to the lawyer and bring a new will so he could sign it. But his children, Jessica and Diego, overheard everything. They realized that their father was going to cut them out of the will, give a share to Cisne, and donate the rest to charity. The next day, Cisne went to the lawyer's office and got the papers, but as soon as she stepped outside, she felt uneasy, so she hid the documents. At that moment, Jessica appeared, pretending to cry. She lied that their father was missing and begged Cisne to help. Trusting her, Cisne went along. Meanwhile, at home, Don Pablo had a heart attack and passed away. In the forest, Jessica convinced Cisne to split up and search. That's when Cisne fell into the trap and landed in the pit. Now trapped and hopeless, Cisne accepted her fate and prayed to God to spare her from too much pain. Suddenly, someone removed the wooden cover and threw down a rope. When she climbed out, she was shocked. It was Don Pablo standing there. Surprised, she showed him the papers and said they had to return home so he could sign them. Don Pablo stayed silent but nodded his head, and they walked back together. At home, Jessica and Diego were celebrating their victory, but when Cisne walked in, they were stunned. They couldn't understand how she had survived. Calmly, Cisne told them that Don Pablo himself had saved her. Jessica mocked her, saying their father was already dead. Diego added that he never signed the will, so Cisne must be lying. But when Cisne opened the file, Don Pablo's signature was clearly there. Jessica and Diego were shocked. They grabbed the papers and checked. Yes, the signature was real. Suddenly, the whole room filled with light, and the spirit of Don Pablo appeared before them. Terrified, Jessica and Diego ran away. Cisne, however, stayed calm. Pablo asked her, "Aren't you afraid?" She shook her head and said she was thankful she got the chance to say goodbye, and grateful for his help in the forest. Pablo held her hands and said, "Always remember, Cisne, what you give with your hands, you will receive back." Then he disappeared, finally at peace. This story teaches us that good deeds are never forgotten. Sometimes help and justice come in ways beyond our understanding. What you give from your heart, life always returns to you in some form. And what do you think? Was Don Pablo right to cut his children out of the will? Some people believe evil can win, but share this message so the world knows goodness is the greatest power. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.